All right, this is Lunenburg Water District Commissioners Meeting, March 9th, 2022, 4 p.m., being recorded for rebroadcast over Lunenburg Public Access. First agenda item is to review and sign warrants, which is already done. Do I have a motion on the meetings minutes for February 16th?
Yep.
Okay, so moved, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Review and vote the annual warrant for our annual meeting.
Do you want me to make another copy, John?
No, because we have
That's all right.
Article 1, 2, 3 are typical. 4 is borrowing the budget. 5 is the
Typical one.
Enhancement.
The water enhancement.
Yep.
Which one was 5? The money.
The 50.
That we always put in.
We appropriate $50,000 to go into an
water
account for
replacement.
maintenance, for water main replacement and such. Article 6 for a truck, and that's gonna have to be modified after we go over that. Unless
We still think we're okay, but we'll go through it.
Okay.
That's why I got all the paperwork if you want to go over any of those articles.
Okay, so Article 6 right now is for $65,000 for a new vehicle. Article 7 is $25,000 for purchase of new software and relocation of the SCADA control panel to the new office and related costs and expenses. Article 8, to appropriate $15,000 for repair replacement of the water pump at well pumping station number 5. And it also includes incidental and/or related expenses. Do you want to elaborate on Article 8 just a little bit so that people know what we're talking about?
Sure. So we had, the original well, when I first started working, it was pumping around 305 gallons a minute. So right now, it's in the area of just over 210, 220, depending on what it runs with. So a local well, Frank Sullivan out of Lancaster, he does well maintenance, installs pumps and stuff like that. And we hire them from time to time, not necessarily just him, anybody, any of the well guys, and they come out and do a performance test. So they run the well, they run out of the hydrant, and they do different pressures. And then we have the original pump curve, what the pump did when it was brand new, that you can see. And then we did the new pressures, you can see it falls way off. So we're still running a 50 horsepower motor, and we're probably, getting 80 gallons a minute less than what it should be. So 80 gallons a minute, that's more than well number 2 pumps altogether. So it was his recommendation that the pump get pulled and most likely replaced. But sometimes you can rebuild them. But that thing's already been on. It's original pump, 1985, so it's it's had its time there. So it'll be 38 years. So
We're pretty much putting this much effort and getting this much water when we started.
Yeah.
Now we're putting this much effort, getting this much water,
Yes.
and now what we need to do is go back to putting this much effort, and it's just,
right. So I'm gonna tweak it a little bit how we do it. So we have a 50 horsepower motor right now, and our D permit is for, I think it was 430,000 gallons a day. So we could put a pump in that can pump 1.5 times that. But you're just restricted, you can't pump it in 24 hours. You're restricted to 18 hours. And our typical run time is 10 to 12 hours. So I don't think that would bother us. So we could set safeguards on it. But anyway, so when we replace the pump, I'd like to talk to the well guy and get the highest gallons per minute, as long as it's legal through DP, for a 50 horsepower motor. I don't want to get into buying new motors and stuff like that.
so the motor will stay the same, we're just rebuilding the pump.
Correct. So we have 4 wells out back. Those wells have the capacity to pump in the area of 500 to 600 gallons a minute. So the water's there. We couldn't put a bigger permit because we have to do a whole new pump test and everything like that to increase the capacity of that well. So, but I think we'll do it by the legal ways and get the best we can. So,
Yep.
so maybe we can do a well that does maybe for 400 gallons a minute. 50
Well,
horsepower.
if we're running at 50 horsepower and we get the most we can out of the pump that's pumping out, then you're running at your max efficiency.
Right, yep, so we'll
Yep.
get pump curves and we'll see how it goes, and we'll run it by you guys and we'll pick it, and
Okay,
we'll make it work.
sounds good to me. Sounds good to you,
It'll
John?
be good.
Yep.
Okay. Then we have Article 9, to appropriate from the water enhancement account, $110,000 to hire an engineer and consultant to do a pilot study to determine method of treatment options available to remove manganese and PFAS, because I'm not gonna try to read all that. Whoever's gotta read that article is a real lucky person. Per and polyfluoroalkyl substances, PFAS,
Close enough.
from the Hickory Hills Well or Act anything thereon. I think we've been discussing this right through. We need to be prepared with, especially PFAS being the new thing that people are trying to treat, to be in a position to get grant funding should it come along. Because the way it is right now, we can't afford to
That is absolutely correct, yes.
do a treatment plant, but the move is for money to be available to do those things. So if we can utilize that resource efficiently, then we might as well.
All right, so before this PFAS stuff, it was all, that well was offline because of manganese.
Right.
And only in Massachusetts, they cut their levels to 0.3 or higher, then you can't use that well. There was health concerns. So the well was offline for that reason, but if something happened to one of the other sources,
We can still use it.
we could have used it.
Right.
You know, we probably had to wait a day, do baseline bacteria tests and stuff like that. We could have turned it on. We would have to send out notices to people that, there's manganese in the water, stuff like that. So now the PFAS, we did the PFAS test, and the PFAS test came in at 37.8. The maximum you're allowed in the system is 20. So you hear all these people going crazy on treating their water with treatment plants, that's because they're above the 20. So,
Right.
because of this, no matter what happened, we would not have the ability to run that well. So that was the main thing, and there is a lot.
And there's a lot of grant money out there to do this, so if we
Yes.
can use that to supplement and utilize that resource
Yes.
responsibly.
That's nothing on the agenda for that. Is there in Hickory as well? Can I keep going on it?
It is,
Yes,
it's our old
it's under old
It's our
business. We can keep
Can we keep going on that? We're waiting. Because then if we want to approve the articles, I'll go back to it a little bit later.
Yeah, we'll go to where we're already on it. I think we can cover that while we're here. It's part of the article.
Okay.
So,
So, all right, so the money that's put in there was two methods to do the pilot. I don't know if you want to call it a study or pilot testing. So the pilot testing would be they do small little versions of treatment, different forms of treatment plants to remove the manganese, which you have to remove before you get the PFAS. So they had, there's several ways to do it, and they don't know which is the best way. So they run the water through multiple different systems, and they see which one is the best. Which one was overwhelmed the quickest, which means now you gotta start replacing things or flushing things and doing something, and which one was the longest. So, I mean, you could come up with that's quick and easy and the cheapest to put in, but long-term maintenance-wise, it's gonna cost you more at the end. So they wanna look at the whole thing, what's the best way for Lunenburg to treat that water. So, so the proposal I got for that study, there was one that's, like, if we were a town, like, we need that well right now, they could come in here and do a 2-week study on that and prove a way to treat that water.
right.
Good to go. They could bring in a temporary plant in 2 weeks, that the well could be out in a month.
Yeah.
And we don't need that. So,
No.
but anyway, there's a test they can do, and it's cheap, it's 25 grand, they could get that thing going. But he says that's not what you want to do. That's not the right way. So he said, although it's more money to do it the right way, but in the long term, if you put in the treatment plan, you're going to save money.
You want a planned treatment plant that's gonna give us the best results over time
Right. So not
and
usually.
be the least amount of work. and so
Exactly.
forth. Yeah.
Remove the contaminants, and it's the cheapest way to do it. So that was his recommendation, and the price that's in that article was to do the full-blown, long-term test.
Now, when they do that, are they looking at capacity of the well, or are they looking at capacity we're trying to draw?
Typically go for your permit.
Yeah.
Your permit withdrawal rate, and they would use that as the design for that. Unless you wanted to change that. You don't have to pump at your full capacity. But if you're gonna put in a treatment plant, I don't think the price would really change a whole lot from, say, 300 gallons a minute to 500 gallons. I mean, you're doing the full treatment plant. Maybe some of the filter beds might be a little bigger, but I don't think it would impact you.
We had talked about putting some sort of a schedule that would work with the people that have concerns about us operating that well down there.
Yep, perfect, yeah.
I'd like that to be in line with how we design the plant, or does it matter? Are we gonna be looking at what it is designed for versus what we're gonna take from it?
Okay,
That's, I don't know if you follow where I'm going, I'm getting there.
So let's say we put in a treatment plant that's for the full 100% capacity of that well. It doesn't mean we have to run that well. I mean,
Right.
we could just let it sit there like the summertime, which I think fully the intent of us, the board, is that July and August, or maybe in September, that
Doesn't run.
so it's not on.
Right,
The only thing I did talk to, I think it was the Hickory Hills people in the past, one of the methods to get rid of the iron and manganese was with a bacteria chamber. So the water would go in, the certain bacteria would eat the iron, then they'd go in another chamber, a different kind of bacteria would eat the manganese.
yeah,
So that particular well system, you gotta feed the bacteria. If you don't feed them, they die. Then you gotta stick in new
so it
bacteria.
has to run a minimum.
A minimum. So that one wasn't huge, and I don't think anybody had a problem when I talked to them about it.
Yeah,
And I think it was 40,000 gallons per week. So I mean, you could turn a well on for 2 hours and
Be done.
do that, and that wouldn't impact anybody. The reason why I liked that treatment method was it was a much smaller size treatment facility, and the cost was half as much. But that was before the PFAS stuff. So now the PFAS, apparently the problem with the PFAS, I guess, is different. There's a carbon filter and a resin filter, and the manganese and the iron causes a problem because when you run it through that filter, there's nothing that goes past it. So the iron and manganese are going to overwhelm that filter. That's part of why they want to do that study. Which method do they treat, and which with the resin might pass some of it. So I don't know. That was that thing. Which do we do the bacteria style, the green sand filter, which is just sand filter that's coated, and the water passes through and that catches the iron and manganese. The only downside of that would be the backwash.
yeah, backwash, yeah.
So I met the guy's name is Blake from Weston Sampson. I met him down there. We looked at all the wells, walked out there, and he looked at our land area, and he said you could fit the treatment plant there, but he said none of the condo people are gonna like us. He says it's
Yeah,
gonna be
no,
massive, 35 feet tall. He says you're gonna block all their views. So the thinking we had, we drove down the road to the sewer treatment plant, and so our thinking was we do a raw water main from the pump station down to near the treatment plant, down near the sewer treatment plant. We build our own treatment plant, treat the water, and put it right back in the water main that's right in front of it. So I did talk to the Woodlands, and they couldn't give me a yes or no. That's something that they could do, but
Yeah.
they thought it could be a good idea to help them with whatever they got to do, and
Yeah.
so it's out there. Everything's out there with people. So
All right, well, we'll see where it goes.
so and that guy Blake from Weston said he's going to call DEP, check on, because you can get some grant money for even just doing the study, the pilot study. So he was gonna put some feelers out and see. He's gone for 2 weeks. He could be coming back
He's
from
probably
the league.
back, yeah.
And so he was talking about Zoom meetings and stuff, and I said, I'd prefer you to come in here and sit in front of you guys. You guys fire all the questions you want at him. Really smart, good guy. And I questioned him on hard water, and he said there's ways to take care of that too. So I said the board probably ask you about that stuff too. So
Great. All right, that's,
so that article's the baseline thing. So
Yep.
if the well's sitting there. If we don't do that, it's still gonna be sitting there, and this is gonna come up again in the future. And who knows, maybe you do the study and you say, hey, we can't treat it, then, okay, then we're done, we move on.
yeah, I just hate to see we have the resource that I don't want to see anything sit stagnant, so if there's a
Right.
way to utilize it for the future.
Yeah, and this is gonna tell us if we can or not, so I think it's a good thing.
Cool. So that was it. That was all the articles. All these articles, from what I can understand here, will be posted by the 9th day of March. Is that the idea?
That's today,
Okay.
which will be, I suppose I could, I don't know.
Well,
It's signed on the 9th day of March for you guys, just vote and sign and approve it for
Yeah.
today.
And then-
It will be posted everywhere by tomorrow,
okay, so then.
as long as you guys voted to approve.
Yep, one at the
everything.
town hall, one at Whalen Variety, one at the Lunenburg Water District.
We'll do one
7
here,
days.
we'll do one at our other one,
7 days before our meeting is when it has to be posted by. So when's our meeting?
26th.
Yeah. So we. All right. Got a motion on those articles, John?
Yeah, I make a motion, we accept the articles for the annual meeting.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
We supposed to sign this or anything, or no? huh?
Yes,
We have to sign these?
please, yep, that copy.
Are you guys okay if Woody signs that
Yeah,
at a later date?
yeah.
Yes, he was out plowing, he did come by, he has the
Yeah,
copy.
if he has
Reviewed everything,
if he has a question on them, then we're gonna have to have a special meeting or something to review them. But did he get a chance to review them?
he did.
Okay.
This morning.
Are you guys okay if I call a special commissioners meeting to meet with this Blake guy? Are you
Yeah.
available like earlier in the day, or
Give me that again?
Yeah.
the guy Blake that
The
wants to do the
Weston
study?
Sampson, when were you thinking?
I'm not sure, maybe next week we'll pick a day, and if you have a day that's good, I'll send it to him.
I don't. Monday or Tuesday of next week.
It could be later.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, not so good. After the 23rd, and then our meeting's the 26th.
Yeah, the 23rd, we have a meeting to open RFPs.
So
Want me to see if you can come the 23rd?
if you can, I mean, we can come earlier. If he wants to do earlier in the day, so he's not so late in the day.
Yeah,
Okay, let me see it.
okay, 23rd,
Yep. And then the annual's the 26th.
yep.
Okay. Review old business. So we just talked about the Hickory Hills treatment. Mass Ave water main replacement.
Okay, yeah, we haven't really got too far with that thing, so, I did try to get a hold of Gary, and, it didn't really get anywhere, so I'm kinda thinking it's time we start considering, switching consulting firms and engineering firms, and
Yeah, weren't they supposed to have a set of plans for us to go out to bid with it?
the intent was to have it already out to bid, and the main being replaced in April.
Yeah, that ain't happening right now.
And then we talked to another different engineering firm, and they think we should hold off, not even do it, because the contracts already have their jobs already scheduled.
They're already set for the year, yeah.
And so he feels if we go out to bid later on for like the next jobs, he feels that the material isn't gonna be out there to even do the job. Because I guess they're having a difficult time getting water main now, so he thinks we might wanna hold off, and I think that's kinda what I wanna ask you guys. With all this infrastructure money coming for the state revolving fund stuff, which has to be in July and August, we have to submit it. July to August of 2022, we submit all our applications. I think we should wait. Submit that as part of one of those projects, and maybe we can get funding, either low interest loan or
But do we still have to have the design phase done?
not to go to the permit, the financing. You hire an engineering firm, they come in and do budget, just budget numbers. They look at the project, size water main, what are we gonna do, the repair, the street, what's the maintenance on the street. So they come up with a number. So like I say, Mass Ave is, the original was 800,000, it's probably 1.2 million now, I don't even know. So they come in and say, this project's this, and it's at 1.2 million, put it in for funding, to do the state revolving fund, to see if we can get funding for it. But I wanna do, this is kinda where I wanna change it, consulting firms. We don't have a whole lot of time to play around with stuff. So I'd like to pick the streets and mains that we need to get repaired and hire that firm to just give us budget numbers and do the application for funding. So that's what I'd like to do.
So you're picking all the hot spots that we have to do a lot of work.
Yep.
So that we can submit that for possible funding.
Yes.
What do we have into Stan Tech for what they're doing on Mass Ave that they were supposed to have done already?
I don't believe they've done any work.
No.
We've spoke to Whitman and Bingham, who's the firm that's supposed to do the surveying. And as far as we know, they haven't done anything yet.
He told me when I spoke to when I spoke to Gary when you were sick, he said, I believe they're holding off until the spring for weather or something like that. Said something about the weather. So it sounded like to me they haven't done anything.
So you're suggesting that we stop them before they start?
Yes. And if it gets to the point where they've already began to do work, maybe we let them follow through with that. Maybe we don't proceed with the actual going out to bid pod. Maybe we just use their baseline stuff and have them do the application for the funding, and then we use the other firm to do the other areas. So the other areas, I got them in my head. I want to run them by you, and you guys decide. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we could do to fix mains that break all the time.
Yeah.
Then there's mains that we could replace to better the hydraulics of the system, like Beale Street. That would tie the two tanks together better, so they would stay. The tank levels would be more equal. Tying in loops. I mean, Arbor Street would be a great loop, or Flat Hill Road, tying back in the reservoir. So there's a lot of.
But so I'm getting the sense that of late, we haven't had the response that we wanted from our current engineering firm.
Correct.
So
I've called them, sent emails, and I've no response.
So then you're thinking that on top of the meeting with the PFAS guy, would he be the same guy that would try to see what his firm would be capable of doing for us, and if they can meet some of our expectations a little better than where we are right now?
I've talked to other towns, and they've been a huge, other towns that have the PFAS, they've been a huge help, and call this guy, call that guy, so they've been really good. I kind of was thinking different. I was thinking we get one firm that does the treatment plant, maybe one that takes care of wells, because who knows, maybe down the road we have another treatment plant. And I was thinking we have another engineering firm that does the water mains and infrastructure kind of things, like water tank stuff. And a lot of the firms do both things. They do the treatment and everything. So my thinking was, if we had this guy come in and this is his proposal, he gives it to us, we use the other firm as a peer review kind of thing. Hey, what do you think of this? And then and it's kind of amazing how many of these firms know everybody, because I think they all tied together somehow. So maybe this peer review thing is kind of a pretty normal thing.
Okay. So we're still looking to stay with Stan Tech for what we're doing for street design and stuff then?
No, I'd like to eliminate that altogether. If Mass Ave is at a point where we can pull it away from them,
Yeah.
which will require Copeland and Page to write a letter that terminate that contract,
Yeah.
I'd like to do that. Yeah, I mean, the way stuff is delayed, and then look at this garage, I mean, it took a long time to
You
get
think
this.
Gary's a little upset with us about the building?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't,
I don't know.
No? Well, it'd be nice to see if Gary does get back to you. He's our rep at Stantec, right? If he gets back to you, kind of let him know that we're a little concerned about their delayed responses to our inquiries.
he knows.
He knows. He called Tuesday. No, I'm sorry. He called when you were out with COVID. And I said, as far as I know, he's feeling better. He's just waiting out his 5 days. And that Monday was whatever that holiday was, so I knew we were all gone. I said, he will be here Tuesday. I said, you need to call him. This infrastructure money that's coming in there are so many things that we want to look at. You need to call him. Mm-hmm. And that was 2 weeks ago.
Did he call you?
He has not called or emailed.
Okay. Well, we'll look to you for your recommendations on what we...
Well, we got some other firms, so if we
Yeah.
know other firms, do you want to meet them, or, I mean, I know a lot of the guys I know already, they've worked the old Stantec, they worked there, it was Dufresne and Henry before that, so I've known a lot of these guys for years, and I know our old head engineer was George Allen, these
Yeah.
guys all work for him, so they're all good guys.
So if there's recommendations that you have, I think we could review them, and if we felt we needed to meet, I don't know, John, if you think we need to meet everybody. If,
Well, it all depends on how many is everybody.
yeah,
I mean,
it
you know.
depends what you put
I only
together.
know, yeah, there's one I like the best because that's the guy, I know them all. I mean, I've worked with them in the past when they were with the other firm, so they would be probably my first pick. I mean, there are other ones I'd rather not have, like Wright Pierce, which is the town's engineer with the sewer.
Yeah.
I'd rather, same thing with peer review.
Yeah.
They came up with something, our guys look at it, you know,
Yeah.
kind of thing, so I'd rather not go that road. They're good guys too.
Yeah.
I know them too, so.
We'll put it out there to you commissioners too, that after he spoke to a few other towns and the recommendations that he had got, he presented them to me. And I informed him that my brother works for one of the firms. So I have already been proactive in calling ethics to make sure that there is no conflict. And I was told there isn't, as long as I fill out a form. She told me what form to fill out. I presented to you that my brother is part of one of the firms. We can dictate standards if you want, if you don't want me and part of the meetings, or if you don't want me to actually sign any checks. Doesn't have anything, I don't have the financial interest in it, but I have to, I had to put that out to you so that you guys were aware. I have been proactive in this, calling state ethics to make sure that we're good.
Okay, and is this like the attorneys where they have set fees for certain things? How do they, I mean, engineers just kind of, there's no real like, it's not a money thing with engineers to say this guy's cheaper than this guy is more than this guy type thing.
Yeah, and engineering and legal counsel is the only thing that you can bypass the bidding laws.
Okay,
Yeah, so they're considered professional.
so I would say that you look into it and come back to us with your recommendations and how you looked at it, and if that's sufficient enough,
All right.
then we can consider. And then if our current engineering firm wants to come in and plead their case on to why they're so non-existent, then that's up to them. You
So
could,
when I said
they're
that-
gonna find that out at some
We'll have
point.
Gary come in and then we can beat him up and say we're not happy and,
Yeah, I mean, I hate to, we've had a long relationship with them. Like to give them a chance to tell us why they're not responsive. So that'll go, now will that go, that'll go to old business now? New old business?
Hiring of
Consulting?
new firm, what do you want?
Discussion on engineering, or, engineering firm,
engineering consultants is the actual.
there you go, engineering consultants. Because, I mean, that's now something that we
Yeah.
gotta look at. So, John, I had, I don't know, I don't know if I brought it up at the last meeting or what, but I had Christie put old business so that people are aware of what we're talking
I
about
remember
all
that.
the time.
Yeah,
So that they don't come to us and say,
I never heard of that before.
I never heard of that before, and we can say it's been on our agenda and we've been discussing it.
Yeah,
Well,
So,
I like the idea. I know when I was on the Townsend board, they usually have that too.
yeah,
But, because I mean, we have talked about Baker as well for a long
forever.
time, so.
So, and that's the thing, so I don't want it to, I don't want any of this stuff to be new, and then it'll stay on there until we decide what we're gonna do with it. Because that's definitely one of the hot things. One other thing I think that's old, we were talking about the tanks, but they're up for,
We actually talked, we didn't know if we should put that on, that was one of the questionable ones. Sunny Hill Road's all good, we just had that inspected and cleaned, that was
Yeah.
all good. Chase Road, the last inspection was good. And, I think this year, when we hit the next new budget, we probably should have that inspected again. Cause we're at the time, it should be replaced. It should have been
painted.
painted, not replaced.
Yeah, I don't want to,
Yeah, so it was at 2016, it was the max life of that coating that's in the interior. So we've gone past. And it's
hold them up.
yeah, if it's holding up, why waste your money and do it?
Right.
So, it costs to do the tank inspections, but I think, if we get 3 more years out of it, and the cellular money goes in to paint the tank, so,
Yeah, the only concern is everything's going up,
yeah, now,
and maybe at a point it might level off. But it might,
yeah, I mean, we don't
never
know
know.
the future, so I think definitely we can get 2 years, so if we inspect it right now, and it's, yeah, you need a paint job, okay, so now the paint job's gonna be the next year.
Right.
Because you gotta go out to engineer, bid, and all the other stuff, so it'll be down the road.
and what's the best time of year, the fall to do those?
It
or
has to be during the summer.
Has to be during the summer.
They watch all the humidities, they watch everything. It's a cloudy day and the humidity's too high, they can't paint. They're on top of it, and yeah, they do good. So that's a good thing with the Sunny Hill Road tank being bigger. Last time we did it, we had the old Sunny Hill tank, which was 3,000 gallons per foot. This one's 15,000, so it's really 5 times bigger. But the old one, it was summertime, all we had was the wells on Lancaster Ave. So that little thing would run, the wells run for 2 hours, shut off, tank was full. Boom, it shut off for like 20 minutes, boom, back on, because the tank went up and
Up and
down
up
like
and up.
crazy.
Yeah.
So now with that tank, it'll be a lot better.
Okay. Anything else that we wanted to put on old business or go over for old business?
I got still one more thing on mine.
Well, the next item is the commissioner superintendent.
All right, I'll wait for that, yeah.
Okay, so now we'll go to commissioner superintendent's additions.
Well, mine was, that guy, engineer came in, George Sullivan, you guys know George? Worked for Perkins and Ross Associates.
Oh, yeah, he's still around?
He's retired, but
Yeah.
he's doing stuff for, McNiff. For his wife, just
Yeah.
finalizing business, that stuff that was never finalized.
Yeah,
So one of them is a piece of land on Reservoir Road. In the deed that from when they did the project was in 1980. So 1980, this piece of land, and so he did the houses around it. So when he did the houses, the permit with the planning board, which is all signed,
I don't know where that
was
is.
so the plan was to give the land to the town. So he got a letter from the town in October, this past October, that the town didn't want it. So he was asking if we wanted it. It's swamp, it's useless,
Whereabouts is it?
it's near Houghton Mills.
Yep. Is that on the right side of the road?
It's on the Houghton Mills side.
Oh, it's on the Houghton Mills side?
Yeah, it's not on our side. If it was on our side, to me, I
Be a
told him, I said,
no-brainer.
definitely take it. And the board would agree with me. I said, this one's on the whole other side of the road. And it's not buildable, has no use. And I told him, I said, I'll bring it to the board, but I kind of think they're gonna pass on it. Well,
If it's useless to us, why would we want it?
yeah, he's just trying to get off of the tax,
Oh, yeah.
paying tax.
Yeah, yeah.
And he said it was part of the deal that he gives it to the town. So,
You think he'd be giving it to us if it was a building lot?
oh no,
No, so, you know.
So
he wants us-
whereabouts on, so I see Reservoir Road. It's on the Houghton Mills side before you get to Houghton Mills?
After.
After, so like the river?
It was near the river.
Houghton Mills goes right up to the river.
Yeah, Houghton Mills goes right up to the river, and then you have one house, and then you have
Is it-
Flat Hill Road.
No, after the river. So yeah, he was showing me.
After the river.
There's the Houghton Mills.
Yeah.
He said it was right after that, near that churn. After it. He said there was a house, and then there was a little wet spot, and then there was a couple more houses. It was,
Because after Houghton Mills is the brook, and then there's that house on the
Then there's
corner.
one house, and then there's Flat Hill Road.
Yeah.
yeah, we're towards Page Street.
Oh,
On Page
further
Street
up.
side of,
Oh, you're on the other side
On the other side.
of Flat Hill.
yes.
Towards
Yeah,
Keating's.
so yeah, don't go to the brook.
Oh.
Before the brook on the left, probably 1,000 feet before the brook.
Before the brook, so
Going
coming,
towards Keating's?
going towards Keating's from Page Street?
Yes. Before you get to the brook, it'd be like 1,000 feet before the brook. Would be
So there's those houses up on the hill, it's gotta be like just before that, like a little swamp, like right across from the
Yeah, it was tied
entrance
to-
to the Sportsman's Club there? Somewhere in that kind of vicinity?
Yeah, it could be in there.
You know, that guy just put up that metal garage there on the left?
Yeah.
It's gotta be right after that, because
Like
that's the
right
only
there.
wet spot on the whole
Yeah, he said
road.
the whole thing is swamp, so.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do with that?
Nothing. That's
No.
why I told him I'd probably gonna say no. I said, I'll ask, so he said, okay, so.
Nope.
If the town doesn't
I
want,
don't, yeah, and I don't see, there's no benefit to the district to have it.
I
So,
agree.
no.
I agree.
What else you got?
I don't know, you guys kind of,
Well, you had the truck quote.
yeah, so I mean, if you wanna go over, so I got the pump curve for that pump. I got the money for the pilot study. Yeah, the truck quote, oh, you wanna go over the truck quote?
Might as well go over it real
Okay.
quick. I mean,
So-
that's where I see 71 and you said 65 on the article, so I'm like, where are you coming up with that,
gonna knock off a side view mirror.
Yeah,
So he said this is a typical town truck. It's a 3,500 one ton,
Yep.
with a 8-foot utility body,
single axle.
single axle. Yep. So he didn't get everything clear on what I asked for, but he put in a full plow, 9-foot plow with a foil on it. So you pretty much 10 grand for the plow.
Yeah, I still think it's maybe 3 grand for the undercarriage and the electronics.
And I asked for a quote when he sent the compressor.
Yeah,
He was supposed to give me the price for just the frame, but he didn't. So, anyway, so we had, his initial price was 71. Then we had the spray-on bed liner, which was 1,000. And he's got some other things into the cameras.
so you can drop that down to 65 if you're not putting a full plow setup on it. But we're still
Right.
gonna do the undercarriage and the electronics.
I'd like to, yes.
Yeah, I mean, that way we can hook up to whatever we have here.
Right, and also on that note, where we purchase vehicles in the past, we're not like a town department where we spend all that money. And then if we don't spend the money, it goes back to the town. In our case, it stays in that account. So we have 12 grand sitting in that account. So if this truck comes in at 55,000, that money just goes and sits in that account for next future purchase, so we can move it somewhere
So we
else if we
have,
want.
you're saying we have additional money in that account currently above and beyond what we've appropriated in the article?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes. So if we do the article for 65 and the truck comes in at 60, now it goes in that
All right, the first page on this thing is standard features, key standard features.
yes.
So those automatically come with
Yeah,
a truck.
those come with the truck.
Productivity plus drive experience. The hell does that mean, drive experience? Mean you gotta have experience to drive this truck or what?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
You know, I mean, is that also in with the package?
That's all part of that Chevy, it's just a work truck model.
6-speaker audio system for the crew only,
6-speaker.
right under productivity and drive experience.
Oh, yeah.
three
Yeah, so just,
passenger,
just in the cab.
three
That's-
passenger split bench front seat with upper covered armrest storage. I mean, there's only gonna be probably two guys in this truck. There's a lot of this stuff we can do away with.
But that's the base
Nah,
level
they
truck.
They base put it in like the Apple CarPlay.
All right, okay, so
Bluetooth, all
that's
that
what
stuff
I'm
is
getting.
standard.
That's all gonna come no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah,
Rapid-
typically when I buy a truck here, I don't buy the work truck. I usually buy the next model up,
Yeah,
because in the past, you didn't get power windows. And you really need to have power windows.
Does it have power windows?
why do you need power windows?
Gotta have power windows,
Why?
because I'm lazy. I haven't had it, well, I got a few trucks without power windows.
You either got more money than you need or you are lazy.
I am lazy. They have a
power
lot
door locks,
of,
okay.
some trucks they don't even make.
Yeah.
It didn't say power windows?
Graphic colored rubberized floor mats. Okay. Now we get to the good stuff, the factory options. What's WT, Fleet Convenience Package? What's WT?
Work truck,
Okay.
snow plug.
Fleet
crap.
Convenience Package. What comes in the Fleet Convenience Package? For $1,400.
That's probably where your power windows are.
Okay, but $1,400 for, but what I'm saying is, all this stuff on this second page, I mean, we can probably knock off 3 or 4 grand if we really wanted to.
I'm just curious,
Well, I'm just going over, are we gonna use this stuff?
is this our truck though? The bid's made out to Lunenburg
Oh,
DPW.
he sent it to the, because I asked this a long time ago, so I sent it 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, I never got it. And he reads the email to me, it was.
Sent it to Rob. So
DPW.
Rob thought he was getting a truck, he was excited?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he would be if we bought it.
Yeah.
well, we can send them the bill. So, I mean, somebody help me out if you can with some of this stuff. WT Fleet Convenience Package.
It's probably just
Well, let's find out.
yeah.
For $1,400, okay? Factory snowplow prep package.
So that we would get.
Okay.
We have to get that.
Electronic trailer brake control.
I don't think we need that.
No, we
don't
don't,
need that.
we don't take a trailer. We don't carry a trailer. All-terrain tires.
See, I typically buy mud and snow tires.
Yeah, they wear out too fast.
Yeah.
Okay. Rear camera kit. Probably need that for
mandatory.
Rob if he was still here.
Yeah, mandatory. Mandatory now in
Maybe.
all
Mandatory.
vehicles after a certain time.
2 additional keys.
you have
Well,
to
you
have
gotta
a
have the
camera.
keys. Okay.
I'm surprised it doesn't come with the truck though.
Well,
I
after
know.
you spend $65,000, you'd think they'd give you a couple keys, Additional contract options. 4-foot black tube steps,
Yeah, you got the tube you step on to get in the truck.
yeah?
They'll step in, whatever.
You guys are that old that you need those? Have you got one on your, on your?
Floor? No.
Yeah, no, okay. So do we really need those for $800?
You know,
It is nice getting it. Because those, I have a 35.
They're up there.
You got it.
the trucks are taller, but what you might want to look at is see what they're gonna give you for that, and then see, because we happen to have a mechanic in here, where it's gonna especially be his truck, if, we could spend that money on something else depending.
He puts it on. Yeah.
If he puts it on, I mean, sometimes what they're gonna give you versus what you could go out and buy and put on, you might get something better.
Okay, now on the first page, we
That's
got
up to-
graphic colored rubberized vinyl floor mats. On the second page, we've got WeatherTech floor mats. Do we need,
Yeah, so they're gonna upgrade the floor
Floor
mats to
mats.
these.
Yeah.
so what are we gonna take the WeatherTech?
That would be the upgraded ones.
Yes.
I've never seen them, but it's.
Okay,
They're good.
all right.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're really good. I got them
Yeah.
in all my trucks, and they definitely save.
The utility body, 12.5, 12.6, boy, that's a lot of money. But anyhow, plow mounted combination, pintle ball hitch, plate mounted combination.
Why do we have a receiver hitch in any of the trucks? Do we tow? Oh, we do tow a little bit.
Yeah, we tow. I mean, sometimes you never know. The chipper, or compressor. I even had to put a toast hitch on my
Plate-
Explorer.
But we don't normally tow something that you need trailer brakes for, so we don't.
Well, the
need
thing
brake
of it
pads.
is, the trailer hitch, I mean, That's just a plate with the pedal hitch and ball on it for $1,000.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the that's the hitch that goes to the frame of the truck, and they give you a receiver ball spindle combination with it.
But we don't have another truck, okay. I don't want to nickel and dime this thing to death, but, I mean, there's stuff in here that we're probably never gonna need, never gonna use.
You never know, because we do tow either compressors and/or we have the trailer when they bring the mower and stuff down to the wells and.
How many other trucks do we have with panel hooks on them?
Everything has a receiver.
Yeah, all the
hitch.
trucks have a,
So we need another one?
Well, you gotta be versatile, I guess, I don't know. Backup,
I mean, if
backup.
it was $400 or something, I probably wouldn't be questioning it, but it's $1,000. Liberty LED light bar, $1,500. That's
yeah, on the light on the roof.
on the roof?
Yep.
Yeah,
All right, gotta have that.
third brake light.
Third brake light, a
Third brake like mount.
$600, so there's no light, there's just a mount.
Well, no, he said that he really liked that, and I didn't really know what he was getting at, but so he kind of explained it. Most times when you do stuff on the roof, you put in holes. So they have some kind of mount that attaches to the brake light that puts that on the brake light. So the power's there and everything's there at the brake light already.
So it's
So-
kind of like a mounting kit.
Yeah,
Already.
put that
Yeah.
light on.
So a couple of wires is $600, okay. Vertex front corner flashes, two-wheel in front. I can see those, because when you're out on the job, doing a job at night or something, you need them lights.
Yeah.
Spray and type bed liner,
That was the one we thought maybe we could not cut that off and do it local.
You can look
Okay.
and see, I mean, that's not a horrible number.
Is it?
I mean, you can call and ask, but I don't think that's a horrible number.
Yeah, typically with our trucks, we just go buy a rubber mat, stick it in the bottom.
Yeah, if that,
okay. Spray tops of utility, okay. Well, if you're gonna do the bed liner, you might as well do that too. A Fisher 9-foot,
yeah, so they don't need the
Plow
full
system.
plow, they don't need the snow foil for the plow, because they're not, all we're trying to do is get the undercarriage.
so what are we gonna do with that 9-foot plow? You gonna, is that coming, or is that?
No, I said
No.
cut that right off.
That's gonna go, but you still have money you're gonna spend on
Okay.
putting the undercarriage.
Okay,
and
so the snow
electronics.
foil is going too.
Right.
All right, so there's 9 grand right there or more. 9, that's 10 almost. Then we got the paint utility body to match the chassis. Yeah, that's gotta be painted. Factory camber program, okay.
Are they giving us money for the truck we're getting rid of?
We never talked to the trade-in, but yes, they will.
Yeah, so that'll also help us reduce the cost, yeah.
That thing could give us $600-700.
What year was that truck?
2010. That was a joke.
I
They'll
know.
probably give us like $5 probably.
Are all your plow setups the same wiring?
As far as I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we only have the one truck with the big plow. The other
So
truck
we
is a
got
small
14.
7.5 footer.
But it might still have the same wiring harness.
It could. Yeah, I never looked at that, but I would imagine if we did use the plow, it'd be the,
In 20.
Yeah, it'd be the big plow, but if it's the same harness, you take the one out of the truck we had, I don't know, it's splitting hairs.
Now, am I wrong, or did we just?
Spending a dime to save a penny.
14, 15.
So it sounds like,
We just knocked off about 25. No, it can't be right.
no, not that much.
Well, you got 9 and 8 and.
Yeah, but you're still
14.
gonna have to add out of that 8, you're not
Well,
taking
no, I
that
understand
whole 9
that,
out.
but it's still not gonna be on top of what we're all gonna
No,
do to spend.
I think you can get this thing down to 65 just right here, never mind what they give us for a trade or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
all right, so this, I don't typically do this. This would be my first time buying a truck. I'm the Explorer bought off the state bid. Typically when I buy a truck, I bid it myself. So then we have a bid opening. Who knows what you get? You pick your size, what you want a utility body, you pick what you want, and then Dodge, Ford, everybody bids it. Typically, I do that. In this case, I don't think that would be a good idea because this guy is the state bidder for Massachusetts. He said he has a full inventory of vehicles. He doesn't need to wait on anything. You order a truck, he gets priority over everybody.
Yep,
So if we go to, let's say we go out to bid and, I don't know, Townsend Ford gets the gets the
We don't
bid.
know when we're gonna see the truck.
Oh, yeah, when you get in that truck?
They gotta order it and make it.
And will they even get it? You know, I would imagine if we bought it from the Ford spec state bid guy, he probably has full access to trucks too. So
Where are these guys?
I think it's Wakefield.
Liberty? Liberty.
I think it says on the bottom.
Oh,
Yeah, Wakefield. Yeah, so we bought trucks from the Chevy truck we have when we bought that. And actually my old Chevy truck that we traded in, they got that bid. And the guy always told me, he says, though, by you bidding it, you got a cheaper price than I would have if I just went and bought it. So, yeah, so every price here is a state bid price.
Okay. And there's no real, we don't have to worry about, there's a lot less work to it, you just go get it.
Yep, yeah, so all the lights are in it. The only thing we'd have to add is a two-way radio.
they deliver it.
They deliver it? Nice.
They should,
I don't
right?
think so.
You?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
And then drive the,
And then you make them drive the truck that
Yeah.
we're gonna give them back?
Why not?
You really don't like these guys.
Why, what's wrong with the truck that we're gonna trade in? I mean,
Yeah, it's just getting, it's
just
pretty
old.
beat up.
Getting used.
It's
the
getting
seat
rotted,
has like a
rotted
hole in it,
real
so you're
well.
like,
Yeah,
as you
the
drive
frame
it,
was like
yeah.
falling off. It's kind of beat up. But
Okay. What else we got? You got a lot of papers over there.
I didn't know what kind of questions are coming. I got all the land, I got the PFAS, the truck,
how are we doing with the tower? Tower all set with,
all done. It's all been working.
everything's on it, working
Everything's going.
fine?
All the microwave stuff's up.
Police are happy?
No one tied on to it yet. All I did is I put the fire and police antennas up there, and if they want to use it. So.
They never asked about using it? or-
No, but I kept them in the loop. You know, I passed on to DPW too, and
Is there anything we can put on that to make any money from anybody?
no.
No. Why not?
Well, that would have been a whole different permit process to get the tower up. And plus, it's a 100-foot tall tower. A maximum, when you build a tower, your maximum wind load is what you go by. So the maximum wind load for that tower is 8 square feet. So you can have 8 things on there with the total wind load. And you have to have it capable of withstanding the 110 mile an hour hurricane with half-inch ice on it. So they calculate everything. So that tower can only hold 8 square feet. So you can never put anybody on it with that wanted to do stuff. So
Okay, so we're gonna do a meeting, maybe do our next meeting a little earlier and try to get Weston and Sampson here. And then that Saturday's our
annual.
annual
Yes.
meeting.
And the bid opening for the cellular RFP for the Chase Road tank is at 4 o'clock
On the 23rd.
on the 20th.
Yeah, the 23rd. Maybe if we start early, get Blake in, then the bid opening's 4 o'clock. And the
Yeah.
26th is our meeting.
I guess the bid opening, the bids have to be presented by 4 o'clock. The bidding closes, so I mean, if you
Yeah.
open it later, they're not, these people from all over the country, so I'm sure they're not gonna come here, sit and wait and watch.
Give me an idea of a couple of the projects that you want to get done.
Water mains?
Yeah. Don't have to give me all.
Well, you got the Mass Ave.
Yeah.
I'd like to do Lancaster Ave from Whiting Street to heading over the hill. It's 8-inch.
Towards the center? or-
Yep, right at the center. So we got a new 12-inch main we put in from Sunny Hill Road tank, and it goes to Lancaster Ave and runs up to the center of town. That's all new.
Yeah.
The main that comes out from Whiting Street down Lancaster Ave, past Rolling Acres, start heading around down the hill. That's 8-inch AC.
Down
Transite.
Proctor's Hill.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's transite pipe. That was in before we had the wells on Lancaster Ave. So if that was in after, they would have put in a 12-inch line. So I'd like to replace it with a 12-inch line, and that'll help us with the pumping of the water, higher flows. So so you got Mass Ave, Lancaster Ave, Rolling Acres. I still think that's something we could do on our own. Maybe we piecemeal it. So Lancaster.
Is there a bad spot in Rolling Acres or just
The bottom section mostly, from the beginning around the turn to
Yeah.
the bottom. Once it gets up in the top
Meadow
section.
Lane?
Yep, Meadow Lane. The top section, I think it's staying, it's the same brand, Junkie Pipe. It's just the pressure's so much lower up there, we don't tend to have problems with. I still think it'd be something we replace, maybe do phase 1 the bottom and then phase 2 the top, something like that.
You know, do you think we should be making some kind of a decision on the ones we're gonna be doing ourselves if possible pretty soon? Because price of pipe isn't gonna get any cheaper.
I think the toughest part, yeah, price and
And
ability.
Get it.
Yeah,
I mean, if we could order, I mean, I don't know
is
if
that-
we got the money or not, but the pipe ain't gonna go bad.
Is that something is that something we should, I agree with you. If it's something you're thinking we do rolling acres like this summer, because now everything else is gonna kinda, we're not gonna be doing Mass Ave at this point, it could be pushed to next
let me
year.
check on ordering pipe.
You know,
I'll
just-
do a measure, because we have the money, that article, we put the 50,000 in, that's what it's there for.
Yeah, I
Even
mean,
if
if we
we-
got the pipe here, like John says, it's not gonna go bad, it's only gonna, it's probably gonna either get less attainable or more expensive.
Yeah, either one is not gonna
And
get any better.
You could go in there and you don't have to, it doesn't have to be one whole project, but you could say, listen, we're gonna take 2 weeks and we're gonna go as far as we can. And
Yeah,
at least you're that much further.
Yeah.
pipe that I used to pay $3 a foot for, now it's $7.
Yeah,
And that's plastic,
Wow.
$7, more than doubled.
yep.
What the hell was I just thinking? I don't remember now.
All right, so that's a Lancaster Ave, okay, go ahead.
What if we can't get the stuff we need, all of it from one place? Is it sensible to try to get, so much feet from this guy? Or is that gonna
Yeah,
raise the
yeah.
price up? I mean, let's say we wanted 2,000 feet of pipe, if we can only get 600 from this guy, we can get 800 from that guy, I mean, whatever we can get, it's all standard
That's all
pipe.
fine, yeah, they
All
all interchange with each other.
All right,
so
well,
they're all the same, yep. Yeah, so Lancaster Ave, Pleasant Street would be a nice one, White Street, the
We're on Pleasant Street,
whole street.
from West Street all the way down to 2A?
The problem area is mostly from 2A, almost to the sharp turn, so you almost have the whole street, so I probably
Over
would
the
just say
bridge.
I would say the whole street. When they redid the bridge, I was hoping I could get them to do the water main, but they never went anywhere near it, so.
Now, is that gonna go under the brook?
It is currently, I would say, if we did a new one, we'd probably go over the brook,
Just hang it on a bridge.
hang it on, yeah.
Yeah,
Or we could go under, going under, that stuff isn't a big deal nowadays with the directional drilling, so, under, yeah. Well, it wasn't too bad, but,
what about, down here on 2A by Mackey's?
yeah, I haven't heard anything. He said springtime, so. I would
Yeah.
imagine.
And they're lined up, they have to do that, right?
Yes, yep.
Yeah, that's in the works. All right, I don't have anything else, unless somebody else does.
I'm good. All good?
Good?
All right, motion to adjourn. We're done. Good night.
Done.